Okay. Okay. So this is a TvZ, and thanks 6 to you too, because thanks 6 to you too. Thanks 6 to you too. Look at how idle that was. That was pretty idle, man. Just feeling its idlitude. It's okay. It's okay. I forgive. No worries, as long as it doesn't add up to too much, right? Ooh, it looks like super early. 3 Marines, 3 SCVs, command center. This build looks just like the build I use, except that now there's a bunker instead of a factory. And there was no gas, so this is a no gas opening. Oh, very well timed worker transfer. A bunker with no wall-in always bugs me. I see this so often when I'm coaching. Like, what are you thinking? A fully surrounded by lings bunker, you can fit something like 16 lings around it. And 16 lings, you gotta realize, that's only like $400. And with 16 lings, he'll only lose like 4 lings when he kills the bunker. Just bunkers without wall-ins don't work, man. It's all about the wall-ins. If you have to choose between a wall-in or a bunker, get a wall-in. Dun, 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 dun. I suspect that, yeah, 37, you're doing great. You're all doing great on economy, on Econolodge, and have 80 supply right now is pretty good, man. You made the bunker part of your wall-in. I don't like that at all. The range of a Marine is 5. The range of a Roach is 4. The range of a Marine in a bunker is 6. That means that a bunker with Marines in it can cover 2 distance all around it from Roaches without the Roaches, so the Roaches can't hit those things. And the size of a depot is 2. So it's like it was made in freaking heaven for depots, bunkers to be behind depots, bunkers behind depots, and that way he can he can't baneling bust the bunker. He can only baneling bust the wall in front of the bunker, and then he has to baneling bust the bunker separately. So it just increases the cost of getting into your army by I don't know. I don't really know the math, but it's like 5 times 75 is like 375, or I don't know, something like that. Devil supply drop, indicative of you having trouble later on keeping up with your economy. You've also cut workers. It looks like you're at 50 at 10 minutes, which is awesome. You're doing an amazing job of keeping up on your economy at this point. But your infrastructure is so tiny. And it's okay to have a tiny infrastructure as you begin, but you got to recognize that with a tiny infrastructure like this, pretty soon you're not going to be able to spend all your money anymore. Because, look at your income. Let's see if this is reasonable. No. So you've got a... Oh, there we go. Well, it's good. It's good. You're doing well. You are doing well. So another way to check that would be 50 times 40 is 2,000. So with no mules down, you should have a 2,000 income, and you have 1,860. So you're very close to fully efficient mining. Anyway, so you have a $2,000 income, and most you can possibly spend is... I mean, I suppose if you just make a crap ton of medevacs, then you could spend more. Anyway, this is 750. This is 300 and something. I don't know what this is. This is this is about 250, 300 times 2, because the reactor doubles it. So this is like 500 by itself. So I guess as long as you're pumping double medevacs, you have enough infrastructure to spend all your money. But you're not going to really want to pump double medevacs all game long. That's kind of crazy. Anyway, your money's going to pile up, and look, that's your money piling up. But this was great. This was a really good build and really well executed, and your saturation balance is proper. The only criticism I have is that you should have gotten a better wall-in, and you should have gotten more racks, and you should have been getting upgrades, because unupgraded infantry in TvZ is so terrible. So terrible. Unupgraded infantry is like you could just throw it in the trash and mock it hysterically. Luckily, your opponent is going for the unupgraded infantry route as well, so you guys are like having a big unupgraded infantry snuggle party, like where everyone wears pajamas and you throw things at each other, like pillow fight. Well, this is good. He's attacking at a really stupid angle with a force that's not really big enough to handle your army. You've got a massively bigger army than him. You're up by 40 supply, and you just kind of win off of your macro alone. You made a bunch of units, he didn't make a bunch of units, you win, kind of thing. So it's almost irrelevant what the composition you went for is or how you used it or any of that stuff. It's just you've made so much more than him in that first fight. So now he's going to totally panic mode, build 42 lings, and get his one chance in this game to hop back in it. That's how TvZ works, bro. And I feel like you're still doing great. He's funneling a couple lings at a time into you. He waits for the broodlings, gets a full lings around. Oh, you pick up some dudes, basically saying, I'm giving up on this, I'm not going to win it. And you go home. So you pulled ahead by like 1,000 there. You knocked down his third. He's now on 2 base versus your 2 base, and you're in a good position. Your money has been piling up because, again, you still have not very much infrastructure. You're just now getting double eBays, but you have no upgrades whatsoever yet, and you're not even starting them. Just, you know, generally didn't do anything back home while that was going on, and that's good. You know, that's fine. You needed to watch the army, and you did. And you made a second army while you were fighting, so you did keep up on your macro back home. It's just that you never added. You did kind of add infrastructure, right? You added like 1.5 racks and 2 eBays that are not being used. This is a lot of idle workers, though. I don't like seeing 7 idle workers. It's kind of crazy. And more importantly, you cut workers at 50, and you've been staying on 50 workers for a really long time. And 50 isn't really max saturation, is it? This is 18. And 18 with 7 builders. I don't know. I kind of like that, actually. You got 18, and 7 builders with 2 mules. Not bad. It's a not bad way to all in, but you got to realize this is a 2 base all in. What you're doing when you cut workers at 50, you're kind of all inning on 2 bases, which is fine, dude. Totally 2 base all in. You did it well. It's a good thing to do. It's just that's not what I was expecting to see. So I was like, hey, that's weird. For a second. This is also kind of weird. You're like, I don't need mules. I've got $2,000 in the bank. I don't know what to do. These dudes are just hanging out back here. So here comes your second push. Again, at 15 minutes into the game, most Zergs will be 2-2. This guy's at 0-0 because he's crap. Most Zergs will have $16,000 of army. This guy has 9 really. So that's not great either. And you're going with basically pure marine with a bunch of unused medevacs, right? That's what's going on here. And you're not spreading your marines at all. This should theoretically go badly for you, but I suspect it will not. Good fungal, like one huge amazing fungal. Basically, in order to be efficient against infestors, your goal is to trade 3 marines for 2 banelings. And 5 marines for 1 infestor. For 1 fungal, not 1 infestor. And that last splash was like ridiculous. That was just crazy. When you move your army across the field, you want to, like, so your army is standing here, and you're like, alright, I want to go attack the Zerg. So what you do is you A move to here, and then you patrol move to here, and then you go back and you macro for a little while. When your army arrives and is all spread out, you A move to here, and then patrol move to here, and then you go back and you macro for a little while. And when your guys get here, you A move to here and patrol move to there. The point is that you always want your army to be split as it crosses the field. You don't want to just walk in a giant ball up onto creep and hope he doesn't notice, because you saw how one-sided that last fungal growth baneling ling battle was. So now your opponent has supply blocked himself. Not supply blocked, what's that? Larva blocked himself. He's got 11 larva, and he wants to be making lings, and you just can't spend his money. And so you kind of win. He should not have been trying to get by with with no macro hatcheries, with just these 2 hatcheries all game. This was a big stupid mistake of his. And you're going to kind of penalize him for doing that by accidentally A-moving your whole medevac fleet in to attack him, because medevacs attack things. Doing a drop in the backfield, which was good, at the same time as you just kind of walk up the front with a heavily clumped up marine Porsche. You're basically A-moving to victory, and I like that. Like, your macro was so amazing that you're actually able to beat this guy without any micro whatsoever, despite the fact that fungal growth and banelings like hard counter on microed marines. So you should be very proud of your ability to create units at this point. This was a pure macro win, and I really liked it. Good job. As far as improvements for future games, though, there's a lot of micro tactics that you should have done. Once you're comfortable being able to build this many units each time, and you have a little bit more free time to go and do other things, the types of other things you should be doing are getting upgrades quicker, spreading your dudes out better, making sure your medevacs stay with your marines, and getting this medevac to go home. What you can actually do is if you're not going to look up here again, and you know that, you unload all your dudes, you grab them, you stim, and then you take your medevac and you move him home, and he's going to stay there until everyone's fully healed, and then go home. And usually people mop up drops quick enough so that he'll stay for the whole fight and then leave. Anyway, this game's over. You kind of ripped that guy to shreds. So things you should be proud of are everything statistical. Statistically, you were the best human in the world. You had a $3,300 army at 10 minutes on top of having 50 workers. That's crazy good. And then at 14 minutes, we know that you're going to shoot for 7.5k, and you hit 7.5 plus upgrades. So this is, you never got stim. That's crazy, man. In stim is so crucial in TvZ, man. It's ridiculously crucial, just very, very crucial. So I really disliked the composition you went for. I really disliked how you used it, but I loved your macro. Your macro won you this game, and great job with that. So if you want to go pure Marine medevac against Zerg, you can, and that's actually what I do lately. But you need to get stim, you need to use stim, you need to keep your dudes spread out so they can't all just die to a baneling trap or a fungal. And it'd be nice if you started using this gas for something, What I tend to use it for is Banshees and Ravens. Because you're making 2 medevacs at a time, and that uses 2 geysers. That's fine. Then you're getting upgrades, and that uses another quarter of a geyser. But then you have all this extra gas, and there's no buildings that exist that can spend it. There's no way to spend it, so it just kind of piles up and stays there all game. So getting additional starports and getting some air units is a good way to spend that stuff if you don't want to get siege tanks and Thors, which really, siege tanks and Thors make this matchup completely different. Pure Marine, it's all about taking ground map control, it's all about spreading, it's all about drops in multiple locations. But as soon as you add some siege tanks, now it's all about baiting him into pre-sieged tanks, and it's all about slow encroachment at the edge of his creep, and it's all about waiting for the good, critical mass of 5 tanks before pushing out anywhere, and, it just changes the matchup so entirely. That I don't make them. So yeah. Good things, bad things, good times. Also, you should always really plan. Okay. So you know how I say that, like, a 7-minute expo is standard, an earlier expo is a fast expand, and a later expo is a 1 base? Even if you take a 2nd base, you can still consider that game to have been a 1 base opening because you just didn't get a CC until so late that a lot of your SCVs are going to be idle. The same thing can be said about 2 basing. So this was a 2 base. Anything where you get your 3rd later than 13.5 minutes basically is a 2 base. So even if you get a 16-minute 3rd, you still basically 2 based because your main was dry before you got your 3rd, So and if you want a 2 base, I'm all for it. 2 basing in TvZ makes a lot of sense because tier 3 Zerg stuff is like crazy hard to deal with. But you should 2 base in a more realistic sense. So make a big, huge freaking army off of 2 bases. Cut workers at 50 and make this giant army and go attack with it, and then make another big army and go attack with that, and then start to make another big army, and say, you know what? I have so much money in the bank, and my main is going to be dry any moment. I should probably throw down more CCs. So that's kind of what you did. I like it, but I would have gotten those 2 additional CCs, well, no later than 15 minutes. I usually get them, obviously, earlier than that, but around here is when you're just starting to mine out your base. You've got one patch with 170 on it, and it's going to be mined out pretty soon. So yeah, generally good things, man. Generally good things. So this is really impressive because you did the whole thing with 27 APM. Like, you basically made had a ridiculously clean and fresh and awesome opening, and followed it up with good strong macro throughout the rest of the game, all with 27 APM. So that's very impressive. And keep what you've got, man. Don't try to add tactics to this that screw up what you already have. Like, make sure you continue to be this good at macro. But anything, if you do want to add just one thing while staying this good at macro, the thing I would add is the concept of moving short distances and patrol spreading. Rebind patrol to Q or something that you can reach really easily. And when you have an army here and you want to move it all the way across the field, don't A-move all the way across the field and let your medevac start floating over his base when you're not near it, which is something that happened. So see, you are kind of moving short distances, but you see how while your guys are moving, they're in this like nice spread out line, and then when they get there, they clump up into this little tiny pile. So in the line formation, they're actually okay against Zerg. So if you move from here to there and he hits you in the middle, you're not going to be super clumped up, and it's going to be fine. But once you get there, that's the big problem. When you get to where you're going and stop, your guys form this giant clump, and you really just got to bind patrol and use the patrol split to be able to do that without having ridiculously good APM. I'm so sleepy, man. My sleep schedule is all off. So sleepy, man. Sleep schedule all off. Dee 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 dee. Dee 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 dee. Let's use a hill to demonstrate. So, if you want to get from here to here without being clumped up at any point, you can patrol before you moved. Oh, you know what? The hill isn't really going to work because it walks through. See, as soon as I move anywhere, they're going to form another clump, and we hate clumps. So, yeah. Quickly spreading out is just what the heck is going wrong here? Quickly spreading out is just a patrol. You make these little blue lines that basically separate your army so that it's not a giant clump. And then when you want to get across that thing, you have to clump up to get through this. So one thing you can do is make like a triangle, and then take these guys and move them here and make that triangle, and take these guys and move them there and make that triangle. But the point is that wherever you move, you just always want to have a blue line at the end, so that they don't just go and stand somewhere, they go and spread out somewhere, you know? I don't know. This wasn't really a reasonable demonstration of it. Nope. Terrain, arena. I wish there was a more reasonable, like if there was an obstacle right there that I had to walk around or something. Anyway, so I bound, like A is bound to A move, and Q, the key right next to Q, is the patrol. So normally you just take these guys and you say A move over there, and they're gonna just kind of walk in a giant clump. And if anyone intercepts this clump, everyone's gonna blow up. So instead, you can grab little groups of it and Q, making these little blue lines, and then A move across, and then shift Q move all around, so that your guys are like, oh, spread out in that general area? Okay, that kind of makes sense. And now you're back home macroing, you're not even looking at this, and your guys already kind of spread out for you. So they're still somewhat clumped up, but they're at least, spread out enough that one baneling isn't going to kill all of them. Because, it's the difference between, imagine you got a fungal that covers this, and a fungal that covers this, and a fungal. It's the difference between 3 fungals and 1. It's not a huge difference, but it's, it's something. And the coolest part of it is that you can do it without having a high APM, So, that's that, man.